Welcome to Around the Track, the most exciting 15 minutes in wealth management by Dynasty Financial Partners and hosted by CEO Shirl Penney.
Hello, and welcome to another edition of Around the Track, the most exciting 15 minutes in wealth management. I'm your host, Shirl Penney, founder and CEO of Dynasty Financial Partners, and I'm really excited about this episode because I'm going to have an opportunity to sit down with my business partner and Chief Investment Officer at Dynasty, Bob Shea. All right, Bob, thanks so much for doing this. And if you've seen past episodes of Around the Track, you know the only rule we have is that we're going to make our way around this virtual track in less than 15 minutes. I'm going to ask you 8 rapid-fire questions.
And they're off.
We'll make our way through those, and how you break from the gate really matters. So I'm going to ask you a nice, easy softball to get us going in the conversation. So tell us a little bit about Bob Shea, your background, personally, professionally. What did you do before you came to Dynasty?
So personally, married to Allison, the trainer of this horse, and a father of 4, 2 boys, 2 girls. We came from New York and have relocated down here to St. Pete, which is super exciting and fun. And professionally, I spent the early and bulk of my career at Goldman Sachs, some 15 years, where I was a partner in the equities division, managing a number of trading businesses, some client-facing, some proprietary, and I think probably the most exciting part was my desk was Cape Canaveral for .com back in the beginning of the century.
Yeah, well, if we had more than 15 minutes, I'd ask you some stories about that. So, look, having been here, roughly a year or so, and being our CIO, you're responsible for a lot in terms of the investment platform. Can you tell our viewers what are some of the services that you're delivering to our advisors and their clients, and how do you see your role and responsibility here at Dynasty?
Our folks are breaking away from the major wirehouses where they're used to thought leadership, where they're used to really good content, and we're supplying all that. My team and I sit on the investment committees of our clients, idea generation. We are bringing education to the network with some of the best and brightest asset managers are coming, particularly in the alternative space, which is just really, really exciting as my team and I sit at the tsunami of interest on the part of network partners and capabilities on our asset manager partners and sponsors, which is just fascinating and like one of the real, true fun parts of my job.
So whether it's alternatives or others, I want to ask you a question on the product side. And I know we both grew up on Wall Street. You were a partner at Goldman Sachs, and I grew up in the business at Citi and Smith Barney. One of the things that we hear from time to time or get asked from advisors coming out of some of the big brokerage firms, are there going to be any restrictions or issues for them in terms of their ability to access product? I mean, 20 years ago, it seemed like they were proprietary product advantages, but today it seems like with open architecture, you can get product anywhere. But I'd like to get your view and perspective on that.
Yeah, no question. I think if anything, being part of a bank or a wirehouse is limiting to where to have independence, you actually get to access all of what Wall Street has to offer, from ETFs, SMAs, to mutual funds, to this incredible space in the alternative space, private space.
Yeah. Okay. So look, we're headed into obviously. We're in an election cycle. We have a big election in front of us. I'm not going to ask you who you think is going to win, but what would you say to advisors in terms of what they should be talking to their clients about, and what is Dynasty's house view, let's say, over the next 12 months?
Yeah, well, we're in the 3rd year of a presidential cycle, which typically is a good year for equity markets, for capital markets, and this year's playing true to form. So this corrective period we're in now, I think, gives way to a run for the roses, or a nice year-end rally that's in line with what would be expected in a 3rd year of a presidential cycle. However, myself and the team, Ron and the team, we're focused on it, some of the trends we're seeing. So we had a no recession view, and we were in a small camp coming into this year, which has played out nicely. We're a little worried about employment. 7 months ago, we were at 700,000 jobs. We're at 160,000 now, and I've seen forecasts for single digits in February of next year. The last 7-month revisions have been negative. So we're watching this closely, and it always feels like a soft landing, so we're kind of on hard landing watch. Typical late cycle activity that should extend into next year, but we're on, kind of staying vigilant with keeping an eye on the data.
So so I appreciate that. And you mentioned a name there. You said Ron, and of course, by Ron you mean Ron Insana, who many of the viewers would know, over his almost 40-plus year career, certainly in television. But we onboarded Ron recently as our chief market strategist. How are you thinking about using Ron's incredible talent? How are you guys partnering up, and what do you think his impact will be in support of our advisor clients?
Yeah, terrific. Ron has been a really incredible welcoming addition to our investment team, to our network, and to the investment committee. We're very excited to have him we're right in front of our investor forum in November down in Nashville, which we're super excited about. We have an incredible slate of speakers, and Ron's going to be a big part of that. But I think the way Ron and I work together, on top of being just an incredible resource for investment ideas and implementation, Ron is, I'm more inside, Ron's more outside. Ron's really traveling in the field, seeing a lot of advisors who know and love him, and whose clients know and love him from 39 years of doing just incredible financial journalism.
Got it. I appreciate that. So let me ask you, as we turn for home here, right? So just 2 questions left. Again, great perspective. Been doing this for a while. What keeps you up at night?
All right. For me, I try to pride myself on looking downfield, not invest in the current trend, which is 7 names, basically, also known as the Magnificent Seven, that have been the Magnificent Seven for the better part of the last decade. Trying to look 30 yards downfield to what the next trend is, the next mega theme that our clients can make money on, and to try and give that thought leadership and get an early look at what that might be. And that could be anything in this energy transformation, kind of riding this this $3 to $5 trillion non-discretionary tailwind. And I think that might be the next 10 years.
Got it. All right, look, last question. And if you've seen any of our previous 40 episodes, you know what this question is going to be. I wrap up every conversation, again, tying back to the analogy of racing, the Triple Crown, right? And if you know anything about racing, the Triple Crown is one of those things that is essentially unattainable, right? You're trying to win the 3 biggest races of the year in a short period of time with the same team, the same horse, et cetera. But nonetheless, people in that industry wake up every day and they try to grab that brass ring that seems like, it's there, but not quite there. So with that as an analogy, I'd like to ask you, what is your Triple Crown? What is that big goal that has you, flying out of bed every morning, excited to go after?
Incremental progress where, winning next year, better performance, more AUM, more assets, more network partners, bigger team, better capabilities. But yeah, that's kind of where I want. So
incremental progress, sustained excellence, as we say at Dynasty, right? It's really hard to win once. It's very difficult to keep winning, right? To build a dynasty. So appreciate that answer very much. Bob, thank you for having this conversation. It's been great to get to know you the last couple of years, and having you here on the team is awesome. And thank you as well for tuning in to another edition of Around the Track.